Hello again everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Neverwinter Nights 2. Well, I'm still in my house and I want to, before doing anything else, try to speak to my foster father again, which I think I can do, like
this. The furs are in the chest, by the painting.
Okay then. Let me look into the house then. Is there anything that I can actually loot? Not really, I don't see anything. But there must be a chest right over here, right? Okay. Let's take them. You can access chests and other containers by left-clicking on them. When you open a container, its inventory will be displayed in a small window. Okay. Let's do it. Loot. And I'm going to take this over here. Let's loot it. The furs have been added to your backpack. To view your inventory, click on the player menu icon. It looks like the Neverwinter eye in the left over and corner. Select back. Can I just go for inventory? Yeah, just like that. Let me see it. Dagon's furs. Okay, I have them. That's nice. Okay, done. Let's talk to him.
Good. I see you have the furs. Galen has probably set up his tent on the village green. He'll be enjoying the fair with the rest of the townsfolk. Last season, I asked him to bring a duskwood bow to trade. Sell him the furs and use the coins it gives you to purchase the bow. Your friends await you at the bridge. I suppose you're anxious to see the fair. But don't forget to trade with Galen.
Is it for me, the bow? I want a bow too. It seems like I don't have any. No, I don't. Okay, I've just given you a quest. Let me try to look into my journal. Yes. Let's see. The fur trade. Your foster father Dagon has asked you to sell his furs to Galen the merchant. He also wants you to purchase a duskwood bow for him. Galen can be found at the center of town enjoying the Harvest Fair festivities. And there's another High Harvest Fair. Today is the High Harvest Fair in the village of West Harbor. Your friends are waiting for you at the bridge and are probably eager to attend the fair. Okay, let's go and find them then. Let's go. Open the door and get out. Okay, let me just try to... I think those are my friends at the bridge. But why not look around first? Look around the house. Anything to loot? Not really. Oh, let me see. T, default action, current target, F, quick cast menu. Let me see that. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to need that. I, inventory, M, area map. Okay, I think I am up there. Yes. And the bridge, Georg's tent, the harvest brawl, Orland's heftiest hog competition, Galen the merchant, tourney of talent, archery competition, the Naves challenge, and stage. Okay. Height reveal minimap. Okay, I see it up there. And characters sheet. Let's see that. Okay. Highlight interactive objects. Now we are talking. Nothing to see then. I'm probably going to change that because this Z is not really doing any good to me. But I'll do that in between the episode for you guys.
There you are! Come on, the fair's already started!
It's the biggest fair in years. There's folk in from all the outlying farms, and even a few from outside the mare. That means a big audience.
A big audience, all cheering for us. This year's our last chance to compete for the Harvest Cup. Our last chance to win.
Okay. What's the competition look like? I'll have won the cup last year if I hadn't been settled with you. Okay. No sense standing about. Then where do we start? Tell me first, what's the competition
The
look like
Mossfelds
then?
won both their matches in the Harvest Brawl. They'll be tough to beat, but Amy's bound to win the Tourney of Talent for us.
I convinced Tarmus to teach me a few new spells. And I dug up a couple more from his spellbooks when he wasn't looking. Anyway, I
You're a
heard
wizard
Will
then.
Mossfeld is doing the same act this year, so that should help my chances.
Oh, gods. Not the pixie impressions again.
What? Pixie impressions? Okay. So we have the whole day ahead of us. What's our next stop then? First stop.
We sign up with Georg in the village square. Come on!
Okay. Amy and Bevel have joined your party. Companions will follow you and fight by your side. Companions are listed by their portraits on the right side of the screen. I can see them.
Yes,
So
indeed.
if I left click, I control them.
What's up?
Yep.
So what happens if I try to talk to them? I can't believe it's our last year to compete for the cup. When did we get so old? I don't know. Did we? So, what do you think about the fairs this year, Bevel? Sure, are a lot of people. At least 100, I'd say, maybe more if you count all the kids. Where all these kids came from, anyway, feels like just a few seasons ago when you and me and Amy were chasing about and getting underfoot. Remember how angry Tarmas would get? Now he's got a whole new brood to complain about. So tell me, Bevel, think you'll ever leave West Harbor? Sure, I mean, maybe a season in the wilds, hunting for treasure with you and Amy. As long as we could get back in time for the harvest, wouldn't want to miss the fair and all. So, tell me, Bevel, then, how's your family? Mom's always well. I don't know when she finds time to sleep, though. She looks after 7 kids and a farm. Whoa, poor woman. Plus, she helped organize the fair, and she is running the Tourney of Talent besides. You help her as best as you can. From what I've seen, she doesn't let you sleep either. Still enjoying your missed training. Okay. I'm just guessing that you help her as best you can. Well, I just do what a son should. With father dead and Lorne gone, who else does she have? The others are too young. Who is Lorne? Okay, whatever. Sometimes I wish my family was more like yours. I mean, Dagon lets you do whatever you want, whenever you want. I am just guessing that Lorne is one of his brothers or sisters, whatever. But I guess there's something to be said for having a big family and people who care about you. Not that Dagon doesn't care about you. He just isn't much fun, probably. No, most folk in this town aren't much fun, and I know I'm not one to talk. I miss most of the jokes you and Amy tell, even the ones about me. Okay, then tell me if you're still enjoying your militia training. I don't regret joining, if that's what you mean, even though Tarmas thinks the militia made me even dumber than I was in the first place. Really. But Georg says I'm getting better with a blade, and I beat Webb Mossfels on the practice field the other day. Okay. There's something about drilling together as a team, a dozen men fighting as one. You can lose yourself, but you gain something more. Okay, that's it from you then. Never mind, let's go back to the fair. Now I'm going to try and talk to Amy. Was it Amy? Yes. Something up? She says. So, do you think the fair is better than last year, Amy? It's bigger, I think. I don't remember much about last year. Not after I let you and Bevel buy me all that harvest meat anyway. Okay, once you finish your apprenticeship, what do you think you will do? Okay, what do you think you will do? Tarmas has a book in his library, Volo's Guide to Realms. There's a picture in it, a woman in traveler's garb with daggers on her hip, trinkets and scroll cases hanging from her belt, and a book and quill in hand. She wouldn't fit in around here, but I've always admired her, wandering the realms with a spell book and a quill, recording what she sees. You want to be an adventurer then? Then retiring to a place like Candlekeep, writing books and telling stories to kids. I'd be happy with that. Okay, Amy, tell me, what do you think of Tarmas then? He can be a little depressing, but when I was sick with that fever a few years ago, he stayed at my bedside for a week, telling me stories, running back and forth with potions from Brother Mering. And he lets me use magic for my chores. I've got the plates cleaning themselves now, but the broom keeps giving me trouble. Okay, can you tell me what kind of stories the Tarmas tell you, Amy? They always involve wizards in dark places under the ground, surrounded by wigs and spirits and worse, and always searching for something. But they had a realism about them, like he'd been there, experienced them for himself. Maybe he did? So, Amy, do you think he was one of the wizards mentioned in those stories? I think he is actually, but let's see what Amy is going to say. It's hard to imagine Tarmas in a dungeon, but at least some of those stories had to have been about him. So, Amy, why do you think Tarmas came to West Harbor? It's something to do with the war, the one that killed my parents and yours. I think that's why he took me in at first, as if I'd give him some connection to whatever happened that night. Okay, so my parents and her parents are dead. From that, during a war, they died during a war that happened many years ago. So, Amy, tell me, what do you know about your parents? Well, nothing really. I know they were stubborn because they stayed to protect their home when the demons attacked, and I know they weren't from West Harbor. Tarmas thought they might have been Laskans, and once I caught him giving me a strange look, like he was seeing me for the first time. He told me there was magic in my blood. So, Amy, tell me, ever wonder what you'd be like if they lived? Bevel thinks I'd be more like the other girls, whispering about boys and giggling. Not that there's anything wrong with men, they're just not as interesting as magic. Not usually, anyway. Okay, never mind, Amy, let's get back to the fair. Let's go, really. Tarmas hid those feathers. Who are you, child? Let me talk to you. Whoa, ha ha ha, he says. Okay, where was that highlight option? Let's go.
And the blight. You're sure it's spreading, Orlin?
It's no blight, Georg. It's something else. There's no mold, no rot. It's like the crops don't want to grow. Like they haven't the guts to up and face the sun.
What do the druids say?
Well, it's just a rub, Georg. There's no druids to be found, not head nor heel. It used to be they'd warned me of troubles, long before I noticed the signs myself. But this time, we're out in silence. You think we ought to say something? Everyone's gathered for the fair, even from the outlying farms.
No. They ought to be free from cares, at least for a day. We'll go round tomorrow. Talk to the households one by one.
Right you are, Georg. Tomorrow, then.
Hello?
Aha! I've been wondering when I'd see the three of you. Last year to compete, isn't that right?
Apparently so. Only for Bevel and me, so maybe Amy is younger than us? That's right. What are the rules this year?
Rules are the same as ever. Win 3 of the 4 events, and you win the Harvest Cup. Win all 4, and the village council grants you a special prize. And nobody's done that since old Cormac.
Okay, tell me about the 4
Well,
events
there's the
then.
Harvest Brawl. Old favorite, that one. And the Tourney of Talent. But you've got Amy on your team, so you're certain to win.
Thanks, Georg.
Just the truth, young lady. Your foster father's running the archery competition, as always, and I managed to convince Thomas to supervise the Knaves Challenge. I guess the Knaves Challenge will be your toughest event, though the Mossfeld boys might say otherwise.
I wonder why. Why should they say
Will and his
that?
brothers have won the Harvest Brawl 3 years running. It'll be tough to dislodge them. But remember, you only have to win 3 events to claim the cup.
Maybe I can win more. We will see. And the Mossfelds are decent fighters, but they can be beaten,
Keep an
right?
eye on Bevel, and don't let the Mossfelds get him riled. That's how they
Okay.
always beat him on the practice field.
Yeesh, Georg, I'm right here, you know.
If you have any troubles, you know where to find me. Oh, and good luck in the brawl!
Okay, thank you, but I had more
Need
questions.
some help?
Yes. You were talking about this Cormac. Tell me
Old
about him.
Cormac fought in the Harvest Brawl against Bevel's older brother. Stuff of legend, that was.
Bevel's older brother, who is that? Bevel, you never told me about
I hardly
this.
remember Lorne. He was practically grown by the time I could walk, and he left town soon after.
That's right, Bevel. Some say it was the fight with Cormac that drove him out.
Let's have
It
the
was
tale
the
then.
year of the foul harvest, when the crops grew stunted and weak. Not so different from this year, in fact. And folks were anxious for a fair, to take their minds off their troubles. Now, it so happened that there were 2 village lads of the same age, and both of them were big. Now, not just big in a physical sense, mind you, but big in talent, and big in courage, and big in potential. Now, one of them alone would have been too big for this village. But they were 2, and the time was ripe for a contest between them.
So Cormac was 1 and his rival was Bevel's
Yes,
brother.
indeed. The brother of our very own Bevel, and the eldest of the Starling lads. Lorne Starling was his name, and he was a sight. Over 7 foot tall and built like
Whoa.
a High Lord's keep. Our Bevel's a sturdy lad, to be sure, but it'd take 2 of him to match Lorne for size. Now, old
Really?
Lorne was champion of the Harvest Brawl. 3 years he'd held the title, and most boys had only to look at him for they'd faint dead away. But our Cormac had a notion to win the brawl that year and humble his rival for good. So,
How
up
did
he
he do that?
steps, and the crowd goes hushed. Then, Lorne starts insulting him. It began as a good-natured ribbing, but Cormac just stood there, and he didn't say a word. And that got Lorne angry.
Okay. He just stood there and said nothing.
He said not a word. Finally, Lorne came at him in a fury, still casting insults, but Cormac wouldn't rise to the bait. He took a few hits, but mostly he tried to stay out of Lorne's way. And Lorne got madder and madder and madder still. It went on for hours like that, through one day and into the next. Folks watched the match in shifts, one fellow sleeping and another awake. Then they'd swap places and fill each other in. And still Lorne
Really?
got madder and wilder. Then, all of a sudden, Cormac stopped in his tracks and gave old Lorne a punch right in the nose. Oh, Lorne was so angry by then he couldn't block it. Cormac gave him another punch, and another, and another, until old Lorne toppled over like a felled oak. And just like that, Cormac won the Harvest Brawl.
That's interesting. So what happened to them then?
Next day, Cormac was gone. Folks reckoned that he'd done all there was to do in West Harbor, and it was time to move on. As for Lorne, well, Lorne Starling never was the same after that fight. He and Cormac had been friends, you might say. But Only one of them was going to leave that ring with his pride intact. Lorne skipped town too. Went and joined the
Okay.
Neverwinter army, I
So
hear.
tell me then, why did Cormac strike when he did? Why wait so long?
Why, I asked Cormac the same thing. Just before he left town. Georg, he said to me, Lorne is a big fella, but his anger made him small. I just had to wait till he was small enough to beat.
That's quite clever. Thanks for the story then, but we have a cup to win.
Quite right. And the day's getting on.
Alright. I'll also try to examine him. Challenge rating very difficult. Georg Redfell leads and trains the West Harbor militia. A fit and active middle-aged man, Georg takes the defense of the village quite seriously, given the inherent dangers of the Mare of Dead Men. Georg is also quite a teller of tales, though the vast majority of them leave reason and sense behind. Okay, I'm going to do the same to my companions, but it just opens up this. Can I? Yes, this is what I wanted. Not much is known about your... This is me, not him. Alright, then I will probably need to have them out of my party to be able to do that. Let's examine the chicken. Uninjured, neutral. Challenge rating, moderate. Really? This chicken is fat and well fed. She clucks quietly to herself as she scratches at the ground for seeds and insects. It's so stupid that its challenging rate is medium. Alright, let's talk to these people. And you? Good color green, festive I say. Alright. I thought... Did I see something over there? And... Tarmas locked a feather in that chest. I saw him do it. Really? Can I? It's locked. I can't. Let's go and look back there. Really? Nothing? Okay, nothing back in here. Let's go back to the road. So... Practice dummy. Brother Mering. Wild Mossfeld, Web Mossfeld and Ward Mossfeld. I think these are the people Georg was mentioning that they won the brawl before. Let's first of all speak to Brother Mering. The Morning Lord grants a fine day even for a brawl. He likes you, Harborman, I think. So tell me, Brother Mering, you are running the Harvest Brawl? In truth, I volunteered, otherwise I'll be racing from the church at every bout, mending cuts and settling bones to ride. Better that I'm on hand to do Latender's work and to see that all is fought in fairness. Okay, tell me, Brother Mering, have there been injuries already? A few scrapes and broken bones, mostly at the hands of Mossfelds. Poor Garth Lannon is but a wisp of a boy, but still he insisted upon facing lads twice his size in the ring. Broken bones are easily mended by the Morning Lord's grace, not so for broken pride. Okay, Brother Mering, tell me, how are you enjoying the fair? The Morning Lord sets us upon strange paths. Before I came to West Harbor, I never imagined I'd be mending broken ribs on High Harvest Day. Okay, tell me then, don't other villages celebrate with a Harvest Brawl? I'm not sure the Harvest Brawl is observed in any other villages, though a Harvest Bowl is certainly common enough. I suspect that some enterprising harbormen found the one better suited to the local tastes than the other. I am in mood for brawling. Whatever the case, we're ready to fight. A pity West Harbor doesn't love Latender better. I am not really ready to fight right now. I think I'll do more investigation and exploration around and come back for it. We'll wait later, okay? Alright then. Can I talk to these guys? Back off. Don't like folk touching me. Hey, look here, brothers. This one plans to win the brawl. Yes, I do. While I don't like us talking to the other teams, no harm meant. Sure, okay. Let's talk to these people. Hello, Laszlo Bachman. Get your harvest meat here, cold harvest meat. Do we want to have some? Maybe later. Maybe later. This Livy's hawk, wow, it looks... And it says oink. Okay, let's examine it. Challenge rating easy. So if you put a chicken to fight against a pig, the chicken is going to win, because this one's challenge rating is easy and the chicken's is moderate. What is this? Woodpile? Whoa! That was a trap on a woodpile. Somebody around here has a really sick sense of humor. They really do. Let me just continue. What do you mean? That was great. Anyway, it didn't actually hurt us. Because you didn't touch it. I did touch it, Amy. Okay? Let's go on. It's probably part of the Knaves challenge. Tarmas said he'd left a few surprises around the village. Tarmas, that figures. We'd better just stay away from it unless the two of you want to get shocked again. I will not be able to, I think, get the trap. So, better not to touch it yet. Alright, everybody, I think I am going to finish the episode here. Because almost out of time. And thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you are enjoying this game. I know it's a fairly old game, but there is much to the story, I'm sure of it. There's much to the game playing also. So see you again. I'll see you again. Bye bye.